Hi guys, about a year ago I said that the Falcam treeroot travel tripod was the best tripod on the planet for the money, and after using it pretty much every day since then, if anything, I underestimated how good this tripod is. I absolutely love it and I cannot live without it. So I was very excited this year at NAB when Falcam announced they were making a smaller, lighter version of the treeroot tripod, and this one is also cheaper, so we need to talk about it. And I should mention before we get going, I will edit this part out when the sale is over, but they are having a massive sale on the website that sells these two tripods, 22% off. So you could get yourself a really good deal if you are interested in one of these tripods, but let's find out if you'll be interested. This video is not sponsored, but like all of the tripods I feature on the channel, these two were sent to me at no cost to myself for the purpose of review. But there's definitely going to be some bias in here, as this is my daily driver, as the kids like to say. This is the tripod that I use 90% of the time. I am a huge fan of the Falcam treeroot. I think you will see why during this video. So of course, I'm going to be very happy to have a lighter version of this bad boy right here. Now, of course, one of the reasons I'm so excited about this tripod is it still uses my little F38 system. That's a system Falcam developed of these small little plates that can be mixed and matched amongst your equipment. I use it for everything. You can just slide it on there and then pull it off, ready to go. This treeroot one, same thing. It's a push down one, and then you can just release it there. I have these little tiny lightweight vlogging tripods. You just click that in, ready to go. And there's also just backpack clips and things you can put on light stands or other tripods. It's just such a versatile system. I can't recommend it enough. Even if you don't buy one of these tripods, that quick release system from Falcam, the F38 system, is so great. But this quick release system does lead us to a major difference between these two tripods and may sway you to the more expensive Falcam tripod depending on how you use your cameras. For someone like me, it doesn't matter that much because I have F38 plates on the bottom of all of my equipment. So having one like this, which is a proprietary mount, it will only take the F38 plate. So you need to have an F38 plate in order to click this in and out. Whereas with the treeroot here, the quick lock one, they're calling this the light, they're calling this one the quick lock. The quick lock one, you just push it down and you are good to go. And it doesn't have to be an F38 plate. You can take a cage like this from Small Rig and then put that down, and now that is in. You can also use an Arca Swiss plate from your gimbal. This is my DJI RS4 mini plate. Click that in right there. So this will take Peak Design. It will take any form of Arca Swiss plate or any kind of cage. Right here snaps right in, whereas this guy only F38. The F38 Pro ball head, which is the official name of this ball head, has another cool feature, and that is a tension adjustment. So right now I have it loose. So if I want to be able to move the camera freely on this ball head, I can make it loose like that, or I can tighten it right up. So if I don't want it to move anywhere unless I really put some effort into it, I can do that with this tension knob. I think that is very cool. You don't often see that on travel tripods. The Pro ball head also has a spirit level, so you can make sure your camera is level, whereas the F38 Lite treeroot tripod, it does not have a spirit level. One of the reasons these tripods are so sturdy are the type of leg locks they use. They use a twist lock. And if you notice, if you're looking at the very expensive tripods, the ones that are in the thousands of dollars, they usually use the twist locks because you can distribute the weight easier, and it's also easier to clean these things, and you don't need a tool to take them off. You can just unscrew them. And these ones here are actually patented by Falcam. They have a third of a turn, not even a half a turn, a third of a turn, and then they all just release. It's the fastest deployment of any legs that I have for tripods. I was only a flip lock leg guy, but these Falcam treeroot tripods have converted me. I love using these. I can do it with gloves on. I don't have to hurt my delicate digits out in the freezing cold. I really love this leg lock mechanism. But a difference between the two tripods is the shape of the upper column of the legs. It has more of a diamond triangular shape here. It's more spread out on the original Falcam treeroot tripod. On the Lite, they just use a circular tube for all of the sections. So the design of the upper section of this tree root tripod is one of the reasons it is a more heavy-duty, sturdier tripod than the light. The heights of the tripods are very similar. You may get about ½ an inch less on the tree root light. Fully extended, we have 62 inches on the tree root quick lock, and here we have 61.5 inches with the column fully extended. Now with the heads recessed, you have about 51.5 inches here and 52 inches with the tree root original. Of course, when we talk about size and weight, you're going to have a win here for the smaller one. It weighs 1,284 grams, whereas the bigger guy weighs 1,487 grams. So really, it's only 200 grams in the difference, but you definitely feel it when you're talking about a lightweight travel tripod. The 200 grams, you can feel it certainly. This one is also around the barrel. It's just smaller and thinner, just easier to hold. This one here is a bit bigger and chunkier when you are holding it like that. It's still, I mean, it's not bad at 1,487 grams, and you can still grip it in one hand, put it down in the sleeve of your backpack or whatever else you're carrying it in. And this is it. Side by side, they basically pack up to about the same height. So there you go, definitely noticeably bigger. However, I don't think the size of this is a deal breaker, at least for me. In terms of payload, this one surprisingly keeps up with the big boy. The legs themselves can support 40 kilograms, and you can feel it. This is very sturdy. This one supports 50 kilograms with the legs itself. Now, you can't just be relying on the legs. You're going to have to put a camera on the ball head, right? So when you look at the extended version of this, it can take 10 kilograms, and the extended version of this can take 10 kilograms. When it's retracted, it can take 20 kilograms, and when this one's retracted, they put it at 20 kilograms as well. You will see a difference in payload on the ball heads themselves. This smaller ball head, let's say you're shooting in vertical, they don't recommend anything more than 3 kilograms for that, whereas this guy can do 5 kilograms. 3 kilograms is still a pretty decent setup if you're trying to do some vertical content. So while we're at it, let's talk about sturdiness. I have never seen a tripod as sturdy as this falcam tree root. It is just so rock solid. You won't believe it until you feel it. I don't worry about putting any kind of setup on this. Windy conditions, raging waters, it doesn't matter. This thing is just as solid as it gets. And I was very happy to see that this is also an extremely solid tripod. For its size and weight, it is the most solid one I have tested. Another lightweight F38 tripod I like a lot is this Ulanzi F38. And this one, while solid, is definitely noticeably less solid than this new tree root light tripod. And what's more, with most lightweight tripods like this Ulanzi or the Peak design, the center column is quite thin. So when you fully extend it, you can get some shake pretty easily on these types of travel tripods. Whereas the center column of the tree root light is just a very thick triangle, and you can really clamp that down and you're not going to get much shake at all. This is the first very lightweight travel tripod that I feel confident extending to its full height and still getting a shot without any shakes. The tree root light has the exact same width of a column as the tree root original. You can actually swap these out for each other. So hopefully you'll be able to buy this center column, in fact, for the tree root light. Since it fits, I think that this ball head is more useful and the column is a little more useful too, and you'll see that in a minute. In fact, let's talk about it right now. There are two ways to get a low to the ground shot if you want to use these two tripods. The first way is you can just invert the column and then have your camera dangling down low, take your picture, and then flip that image in post. But if you want to keep your camera right side up and splay these legs out so it gets close to the ground, you can actually separate the column on both of these tripods. They do it in different ways. This one here, the original tree root, has a cool little toolless system where you just pull up on that lever right there, and then you pull on this part and it is separated. Bottom, top, put the little top back into the tripod, splay the legs. I love saying the word splay the legs, and then you can get a very low to the ground shot. It's a little bit different here with the tree root light. You pull out the center column, and then there is a little tool that's actually in the bottom of the column here. You pull that out. You will need that for this particular separation. You just press this little lever here and you show where the ball head has a little circle. You see that? That is a hole. Now you can insert this tool. Well, first you want to break the tool apart and then put it in this position so that it is easier to turn. And then you stick this down into the hole, and then you unscrew this right there, and that is how you separate the column. As you can see, a little more finicky. You do have to get a tool out and find that hole and then separate it that way. The other one is a bit easier to use. I'm not sure why they went with the solid one on this particular one, because I think that they could have just done the same thing, but perhaps their research showed that people don't like this. I don't know. I personally like it. They both come with these texturized rubber feet, and then cleverly under the rubber feet, if you pull it off, there is a little spike on each of the legs. And I have taken this tripod through the airport tons of times. No TSA. Nobody's ever stopped me for having the spikes attached to the legs, because these rubber things are on pretty solidly. Not that easy to get off. You'd have to really know there's a spike there, and then you'd have to spend some time figuring out how to get that off. So I've never had any issues with this at the airport. Now, as fantastic as this treeroot light tripod is, there is one drawback that I think could have been avoided. And falcam, if you're watching this, hopefully you can put this in the next iteration of this tripod, and that is the panning mode. See, on the original one here, the more heavy-duty guy, you just loosen that little lever and then you can pan. You want to take some panoramas? You go right ahead. Now, you can pan with this head, but you have to loosen the entire head first. This is not an ideal type of tripod for doing panoramas and any kind of panning action. I do wish there had been a separate little knob for the panning function. When it comes to price, I think both of these tripods are very good values when you look at the competition and their pricing, and that is at full retail price. The site that sells them, Ulanzi, likes to run a lot of promotions. Right now, the one they're running is very good, 22% off. So this full retail price of $499, which is still cheaper than the Peak Design tripod from years ago, which is $599. This one's $499, but 22% off, so you can get this for less than $400. I think that is great. This one is $299, full retail price. You do 22% off that. That's something like $233. I looked that up before I said that. I didn't just do that off the top of my head, but $233 for a tripod that is this solid. As long as you don't mind that proprietary mount, which I certainly don't, and you aren't doing a lot of panning in your photography, then this is a really excellent tripod for the money. However, if you are going to use a lot of different Arca Swiss plates, you want to be able to pan to your heart's content, separate the center column without any tools, and have the sturdiest tripod this side of Mount Olympus, then the treeroot is the way to go. The original one, my goodness, if that is in the budget, I just couldn't recommend this more highly. So let me know down below if either of these tripods float your boat. If not, name the tripod that you like. We can have a nice little discussion about it. Thanks for watching this. We'll talk to you again soon. Okay, bye-bye.